update for today, which is March the 27th of 2026. So this morning I worked in the accounting office, as I do most Friday mornings, and that's again a 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift. And this morning, well, a little bit of context. Yesterday was a pretty chill day around the store. I told you that I did carts most of the day and whatnot, which is true. But that being said, it was a relatively calm day. Not a whole ton going on. Thursdays are actually traditionally the lowest volume day of the week on average, and so not bad in that respect. Now, but that being said, one particular aspect that we look at was significantly. We're talking like half of what it normally is, and that little component is the lottery. And obviously, the more you get of something, the more potential issues you can have. And I think I've mentioned on a couple of occasions previously that lottery is the most complicated, headache-inducing part of our entire accounting system. That one component is so ridiculously time-consuming and can go wrong in so many different ways. It's like the bane of your shift when you work in that particular role. Anyway, for whatever mysterious reason, and I have no idea what it is, lottery everything was like half of what it normally is in terms of activity. And for that reason, primarily, and the fact there are no other major issues either, but for that one major thing, it took to get through the entire process today 3 hours and 47 minutes. 5 hours is standard. Yes, now obviously we go for accuracy and not making a race of it. That being said, when you get an exceptional time, yeah, feel good. Now, that being said, typically we go to lunch right after finishing with that type of thing, which means I was heading to lunch at like 5 minutes to 9 this morning, so bit early. Had Carl's Jr. breakfast for lunch, go figure. But anyway, came back to the store and as a congratulations for getting done with part of your day super duper quick. What do you get to do now? Wash windows. Yes. I've mentioned deep cleaning before. I mentioned and talking about walks and things before. So, now that I think about it, you could call it the Mowow. I guess we're having a Mowow next week. New term I just came up with. Mother of all walks. So, I've told you that, like, the president of our division and whatnot comes into our location on a fairly regular basis. And so for that reason, there's a little bit less pressure when it comes to walks and inspections because they're in here constantly doing all sorts of little pilot program model store stuff that they do. And this particular time, however, in not division leadership, apparently this time we're getting the CEO. And this is not, and the office where these guys work out of is like 1,500 miles from here, if I'm even pointing in the correct direction right now. And so now honestly, having done this quite a long time, I give it maybe a quarter chance that this entourage actually shows up. Now, but that being said, we've been given a bunch of additional man hours to tidy up the place, basically. And so this is including things like wiping windows. And then some of the more detail-focused stuff if you go in or out of a grocery store or any kind of big store, you know those sliding doors? If you ever look down as you're going out one of those, there are little tracks that they go on. Those tend to get grimy. Well, the ones at my store's grocery entrance aren't grimy right now. Yeah, that type of stuff is what I was doing today. Alright. So, and you know, one other thing about these walks and like the CEO and all this type of stuff, and even like division leadership, what I've never understood about this, and apparently this is not like just a critique of my company or anything, apparently this is how like all of retail works. And I don't understand it. So the big guys come, and all of a sudden are announced to be coming. And all of a sudden, a bunch of labor hours that you never have for like day-to-day operations materialize out of nowhere to make things look good for whatever type of inspection or walk or appraisal or standards reset or whatever it is that they're calling it that time. And so you get all these extra man hours, which is cool, you know, to clean up and all this. The thing is, and then you get to the day that it arrives, and all of a sudden, you know, management is told that they can add like 5 8-hour shifts of cashiers, and so you have like all your lanes open, and it's, and anybody who's been in like any big retail store in the past like decade, all the lanes open. Yeah, that's at our location. That's at our Fantasyland location, located 2 blocks from that Matterhorn Mountain, okay? So, and the thing is, it's the game. But it's really fake, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows this. And most of the guys that are like, the guys that are the ones doing inspecting that we're putting on the show for, at some point worked management in stores. They were the ones playing the game. So since they've played the game, they know it's fake. So what are we even doing here? I mean, again, I say this even benefiting from, you know, 4 hours of not on the register, cleaning windows and scrubbing grime out of, you know, out of railings. I'm not complaining. But I just don't get it. And again, it's apparently people have worked in other retail. Apparently all companies work this way. We're putting on a show for people who used to put on the show. And so they know it's a show. Honestly, if I was one of these big guys, I would send out, the first thing I would do is I would send out a memo saying, stop this. Then, I would announce, like, you know, the CEO or whatever is coming to a location like mine. But, what I'd actually do is visit the location 3 miles down the road. And I want to see if it looks like they faked and put on a show for me when I told them not to. And that's the first thing that I would do if I was a CEO. Second thing I would do is, start arresting shoplifters on the spot. But anyway, that's... and I think that completely removed me from ever being anywhere near an executive office in any retail firm, ever. But anyway, let's see. After work, I went to the gym, and then... right after the gym, went and got Round Table Pizza, which is a West Coast pizza chain for those of you watching in other parts of the universe. And honestly, the location around here, at least the interior of it, massive decline. Used to be like a friendly place with a like medieval theme, and now it's just sterile and nothing on the walls and just boring. Anywho, and oh yeah, it looks like Mariners are 0-1. So after a great season last season, I guess we're back to normal. Fabulous. All right. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me all the way to the end. and I'll look forward to chatting at you again tomorrow. Ciao for now.